Now moving right on then, Google has actually gone ahead and said that it is taking action against 10 companies that have chosen not to comply with the company's app billing policy for an extended period of time. In fact, the action can include the removal of non-compliant apps from the Google Play Store. Let's get in all the latest updates, what the companies are saying and the steps that Google Play plans to take. We've got Sumita Kareer on top of this story. Sumita.
Google is taking action against 10 app developers or startup companies for not following its Play Store billing policies. Remember, this was mentioned in a blog post that Google released earlier in the morning. In fact, this notice was also sent to 10 of these companies. And in that blog post, Google says, and I quote, after giving these developers more than 3 years to prepare, including 3 weeks after the Supreme Court's order, we're taking necessary steps to ensure that our policies are applied consistently across the ecosystem, as we do for any form of policy violation globally. In fact, Google says that they were given an extended period of time, about 3 years, to comply with Google's App Store and billing policies. However, they chose not to. And it says that there are many companies in the Indian startup ecosystem, the app developer ecosystem, but it's only 10 companies that have not really decided to comply with its policies. In fact, we also got a word from app developers and our sources within the app developer ecosystem. They tell us that Google has not been following the order of the Competition Commission of India. They also say that Google needs to give them an alternative to payment, to make payments that should allow users to use other payment gateways as far as payment being made via its Play Store is concerned. And it also says that they actually bat for free market dynamics. In fact, Google, as of now, charges anywhere between 11 to 30% as part of its App Store commission. However, 4% discount it gives to all of those app developers who choose to subscribe to its billing ecosystem. In fact, some developers are saying that this will lead to Google establishing over and over again its hegemony over the app developer ecosystem. Google controls 95% of the market. In fact, they also say that the internet is not really free, and they will, of course, take it up with the Apex Court once again. Important to also note that this case has been going on for a while. Last year, the Madras High Court was approached by some of these app developers and startups, and after which the Madras High Court gave them an injunction. But in February 2023, the Supreme Court refused to give an interim injunction to sort of protect them from getting delisted, after which these startup developers wrote to Google saying that some sort of restraint should be applied. However, that has not happened. In fact, as of now, we are also learning that one of the apps of Bharat Matrimony has already been removed from the App Store. In fact, action against other apps is all set to happen anytime from here on.
Pleasure to have Sanjeev Bikhchandani, and this is every time I interact with him, I always look forward to learn, understand, and perhaps get a new idea about what the next big things are. But today we'll be very specific here when it comes to the order which came from Supreme Court, where they in a sense has instructed InfoEdge and other companies to pay to Google Pay. Google Pay decided not to continue or plug out the apps of some service providers. Can you give a backdrop to our viewers, Mr. Bikhchandani, that what is the story and why has Google decided to unplug some apps?
Actually, we received a notice this morning from Google. We have heard it has gone to 9 other companies where they have said, if you do not comply with our payment policies, we will delist you. So it's not as if we've been delisted. It is a notice to delist. The truth is that InfoEdge Jeevan Sathi has been compliant since February 9th, ever since the Supreme Court refused to give relief to these 10 companies. So we are compliant, and we are going to reply to the notice. And let's see what happens then. We are hopeful and confident that they will not delist the app because we are compliant.
Your total business, if I may put it that way, comes essentially from Google Play and from that channel.
Actually, if you look at Naukri, it's next to nothing from the app, the revenue that is. If you look at 99 Acres, likewise. It's only in Jeevan Sathi there is some dependency on the app, and Jeevan Sathi is a small business for us, so it's not a big deal.
So, if I ask you a direct question, that would you be paying to Google, or you would say that, look, it is a
We
good...
are paying. All past invoices are clear. There's no pending invoice. And as and when the invoice comes, we will pay.
So if Google says that 10 Indian companies in India choose not to pay for the value which they gave for Google Play, factually that is not correct.
No, that the disagreement is on what is a fair charge for what. Okay, it's a commercial disagreement. Right now, whether we pay for value, we pay too much for the value, we pay too little for the value, that's a matter of interpretation, but obviously we'll comply with the court order.
How will the fair value be decided, sir? On what basis?
It's a basis of what is reasonable industry practice. And, our fundamental case was that Google is exercising monopoly power, but we live with it.
Decides not to accept your counter offer, would you be okay if Google Play does not showcase your apps? Because you said it's a very limited business is coming from there.
No, but I don't think we can be off Google, the Play Store.
And if I may ask in the same spirit, what is your relationship with Apple and with other platforms?
Well, so Apple is a very small part, even, see, India is mostly Android country. Okay, so the iOS for Jeevan Sathi is actually very, very small.
Okay. Do you see the fact that in the past also concerns have been raised that Google has tried to use their monopoly power? This is something which do you think could be a lingering concern going forward also for everybody?
Obviously, there's a judicial process, and that has been gone through and continues to be gone through. The case is still pending in Supreme Court. We will follow the law.
For your shareholders, for those who immediately get curious and sometimes market they react and sometimes they overreact. Today, I think they are overreacting. Do you think this is no news and time to move on? It does not impact the business whatsoever?
It impacts Jeevan Sathi, but Jeevan Sathi, as you're aware, is a very small part of our business.
Why do these Google concerns keep on coming up? They are exercising monopoly power. I mean, these concerns keeps on surfacing up every quarter or so.
Cannot comment on that generally, but look, Google does have a high share in search and on the App Store, certainly on Android, and Android has a very high share in India. So obviously, if any sort of pricing that Google's partners feel is excessive, does cause concerns.
I'm going to close the interview with something which will get a big smile on your face. I will just say 2 words, and are you prepared? It'll get big smile on your face. Okay.
I'm already smiling.
You'll smile even bigger when I say these 2 words. Zomato and
Sure.
Policy Bazaar. Stock at an all-time high. Let's capture that.
Yes, I mean, yes, they're doing well. I mean, I'm very happy that they've both got to profit in the last 2 quarters, and they have a bright future, in our opinion.
I'm just taking liberty of asking one big question and something which you argued on this forum, that look, promoters, they need to be cognizant of profitability. As an investor, you've argued, as somebody who's represented the industry, you've argued. You were at the GBS forum with a whole bunch of new founders. Can I say that now logic, path to profitability, and sensible growth is something which is the new mantra for the startup industry?
Yes, and it's been so for the last year or two. It's just that companies taking a little bit of time to get there. I think Zomato and Policy Bazaar have already got there, and that was planned anyway. When they went public, they were clear in a couple of years we'll get to profit.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. And our coffee and the dessert and another meal, everything is getting overdue. So I'm simply adding up the buckets. Coffee तो हुआ नहीं, dessert हुआ नहीं, अब lunch करते हैं next time.
बिल्कुल, दिल्ली में आएंगे तो बोल देना मेरे को.
Look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, let's